Have you ever seen your friend getting more marks or grades closer to yours even though he started his preparation just a day before the exam? Do not be concerned. Even your friend is shocked by the results because he has no idea why or how they came about. The 20% of the entire syllabus that your friend covered was all that was tested on. Well, this strange phenomenon of getting 80% results with only 20% of the work is known as Pareto's law. Before going into what Pareto's law is, let us look at what law is. A law is a statement or principle that describes a natural or social phenomenon and is generally accepted as true based on empirical evidence and scientific observation. Unlike other things, most of the time laws cannot be proved using mathematical theorems or axioms. In general, laws are not absolute truths or universal constants, but rather they are statements or principles that help us to understand and predict how the world operates. As new evidence and data are gathered, our understanding of these laws may evolve or change, but they remain useful tools for explaining and predicting natural and social phenomena. Let us jump into what Pareto has to say. Pareto's law, also known as the 80/20 rule, is a principle that states that roughly 80% of the effects come from 20% of the causes. Pareto made a correlation between population and wealth in his observation. Pareto observed that 20% of the population owned about 80% of the land in Italy. But when he conducted polls in a number of other nations, he was surprised to see that the same distribution held true. A power law distribution, commonly referred to as a Pareto distribution, can be used to mathematically approximate the 80/20 rule for a given set of parameters. Power law statistics is used to describe many natural phenomena. For example, 80% of revenues originate from 20% of clients, according to a business management cliché. The principle has since been observed in many other areas, such as business, economics, and social sciences. For example, the Pareto principle can be used in computer science to guide optimization attempts. For instance, Microsoft stated that by resolving the top 20% of the most often reported problems, 80% of the associated system failures and crashes will be removed. Lowell Arthur stated as much 80% of the faults are in 20% of the code. Locate them and fix them. Also, it was shown that software can typically be written in 20% of the time allotted, or 80% of the final product. The hardest 20% of the code, on the other hand, requires 80% of the time. Typically, COCOMO estimation for software coding includes this element. The Pareto principle is a tool also used by occupational health and safety experts to emphasize the significance of danger prioritizing. Safety professionals can focus on those 20% of dangers that result in 80% of injuries or accidents by categorizing hazards and assuming that 20% of hazards cause 80% of injuries. A safety expert is more likely to address one of the 80% of dangers that only cause a small portion of the remaining 20% of injuries if hazards are treated in a random sequence. How can an individual benefit from Pareto's law? Pareto's law can help individuals identify the most important tasks or activities that will have the greatest impact on their goals or outcomes. By focusing on the 20% of factors that produce 80% of results, individuals can prioritize their time and energy more effectively. Pareto's law can also help individuals manage their time more efficiently. By identifying the most productive or efficient tasks, individuals can allocate their time and resources more effectively and avoid wasting time on low-value activities. Pareto's law can be used to set more realistic and achievable goals. By understanding the relationship between inputs and outputs, individuals can set goals that are both ambitious and attainable. Pareto's law can also be used to identify the root causes of problems or challenges. By focusing on the 20% of factors that are responsible for 80% of the problem, individuals can develop targeted solutions that address the underlying issues. Pareto's law can help individuals identify the most important skills or knowledge areas that will have the greatest impact on their career development. By focusing on the 20% of knowledge or skills that are most relevant, individuals can develop their expertise more effectively and advance their careers more quickly. It's important to note that the 80/20 rule is not an exact or universal law, but rather a general principle that can be observed in many different situations. The percentages may vary slightly, but the idea that a small percentage of causes have a large impact is often true. Understanding Pareto's law can help individuals and organizations to identify the most important factors or areas to focus their efforts on, and to maximize their effectiveness and efficiency. Overall, Pareto's law can help individuals become more focused, efficient, and effective in their personal and professional lives. By understanding the relationship between inputs and outputs, individuals can make better decisions, set more realistic goals, and achieve greater success. By understanding this simple principle, you can improve your productivity, time management, and overall success. I hope you found this video helpful. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them below. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel for more tips and insights. Thanks for watching.